crafters, it's Chloe from Chloe's Creative Cards, and today we are going to be making this fabulous project using our lovely Floral Merry Christmas die. So this is quite a quick and easy project for Christmas that you're going to be able to recreate nice and easily. So we will get started. I will pop the overhead camera in and we'll get started making this lovely project. So as always, all of the materials that I'm using are listed in the little description below, and they are all available to shop on our website, which is www.chloescreativecards.co.uk. So I'm going to bring my die cutting machine in because we are going to need that for this project, but we're going to start off by creating our card base and building up our mats and layers. So to create this lovely kind of scalloped shaped card base, we are going to be using our scalloped and pierced rectangle dies. And we're going to take an 8x8 card blank, or you could kind of use any size card as long as it's going to fit that scalloped and pierced rectangle across there. So we're going to take our die, and I'm overhanging it just over the edge of the fold there. And we're going to take some low tack tape and just tape this down into position. So just using that low tack tape to then hold that shape down. And we're going to take our cutting plates. So I'm going to use my base plate, my plastic shim, and my cutting plate on the top with the Gemini. Let me just make sure I haven't moved that there. So we'll pop that down into our little sandwich. So you can see how the die is just hanging off the edge of the fold. We're then going to take our cutting plate on the top and send that through our die cutting machine. And we can then grab this at the other side, lift it out, and you will see that we have got our lovely die cut scalloped card blank. So we'll just remove that from the die. So you can see that that's created that shaped base card. So next up, we're going to take that same die and we're going to use it again just on a sheet of white card. So we're going to cut that same die out just on a piece of plain white. So we'll just position that die down, tape it into position, flip that over, and then we'll send that through our die cutting machine. So through we go. Let me just get that lined up there. There we go. So we'll just send that through. And then of course we'll grab that at the other side when it's finished. There we go, and we'll lift that out. And then when we lift this away, you can see how we've then got that lovely die cut rectangle. So we're going to pop our plates to one side, and I'm going to grab in a piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to take some of our lovely glass slipper glitter, along with one of our chisel tip glue pens. So what we're going to do is just take that glue pen and just drag it along the edge of the rectangle, and then we're going to dunk that into our glitter, but I'm doing it so it's quite a wide border this time, so that you'll then get that lovely sparkly finish along the edge of the card. Just dunk that in again. Again, just dragging that glue pen along the edge, sprinkling over that glitter and tapping away the excess. And then we're just going to continue on. So I'm kind of doing like two stripes really with the glue pen. And just dunking that into the little pot. And then you can see how we've got a little glittery border just going around the edge there. So what we're now going to do is we'll grab in our base card, which is this one here, and I'm going to take a little bit of PVA glue just to stick this onto the front. So just a little bit of PVA, or you can use your Collal all-purpose if you prefer. Just onto the front of that card blank. And then we're going to stick this down like so, just onto our base card. So I like to use a wet glue because that gives you that little bit of wiggle room if you don't quite get it stuck down straight first time. So what I've now got is a piece of lovely patterned paper, and this is from our Gilded Christmas foiled paper pad, and we're going to pop that on the top with some foam pads. So we'll just flip that over and grab in some foam pads. So these are from our foam pads on a roll, which are fabulous. They are great for your mats and layers. They've got that little slightly larger backing, so it makes it really easy to peel the backs off them. So just work our way around with the foam pads, and then we'll just peel the backs off of these. Pop that in the bin, and then we'll stick this down onto our base card. So we've just trimmed that down so it's slightly smaller than that scalloped rectangle. Next up, I've got a piece of silver matte mirror, which we're going to pop on the top again. So again, I'm using quite a lot of depth here, but if you're posting this card, you could stick all of the layers down so that they are flat, which would make it a little bit easier to post. So again, just a few foam pads on the back. And then we'll position that down onto our base card there. And then next up, what I've done is taken a piece of white card and I've covered it with a double-sided adhesive sheet. So when we peel the backing off here, it is going to be sticky. So what we're going to do is we're going to die cut out that lovely Floral Merry Christmas, and we're going to stick that in the middle of this square here. So let me show you that one die cut out. So let me just grab the die. So I've got a piece of silver matte mirror card here, and I've got my lovely Floral Merry Christmas die. So we're going to pop that die down, and we're going to tape this down in place. We're then going to take, I'm just going to use my little junior plates here for my Gemini. So because this is quite a detailed die, I'm going to use my base plate, my magnetic shim, my plastic shim, and then my cutting plate on the top. And we're going to send that through our die cutting machine. And then we're just going to open this out and have a little look at what's cut out here. So there we go. So you can see it's coming away from the die nice and easily. So all that you need to do is take a little pokey tool and just go in and push through all of the little waste bits out of the die cut. You can see they are just falling out. It's just where the little kind of landlocked areas are. There we go, so you can see how pretty that then looks. I'm just making sure I've got all of the little pieces pushed out there. I've just missed these ones on the leaves. And there we go. So I'm going to pop that to one side. Let me get rid of this, the waste paper. So pop that all in the bin. There we go. Now on the finished sample, what we've done is we've gone in and glittered the flowers, but I thought I would show you a different technique as to how you can paper piece these if you want. So you can take your die, just make sure that there's no kind of waste paper in there. And we're going to pop this down onto some silver mirror card. So this is like the really shiny card. Okay. And then we're going to send this through our die cutting machine again. So through that goes. Okay. And we're going to, in effect, use the waste from this one. So we'll grab that when it gets out the other side. Okay, and you can see that's all nicely die cut out. Just being a little bit careful because I don't want to lose any of the little pieces that I want to use for this project. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our matte mirror one and we're going to take this little piece here and we're going to peel. This is always the challenging part. Peel the back off that double-sided adhesive sheet. We're then going to take that Merry Christmas and position that down in the centre, and you can use your waste from the double-sided adhesive sheet to kind of press this onto the card, and then we'll lift that away like so. So this is sticky, so you do need to be careful and you need to remember that now. Then we're going to take the second one that we've just die cut, and I'm going to take some of the little elements and just start to paper piece them in. So I'm going to use these little petals from the flower and just start to work round. There we go. And just stick these down into those kind of tacky areas. There we go. And then we'll do the same with this one at the bottom here. So again, just carefully going in, picking out the little bits that you would like to, and then just positioning these down. But this is a really nice little paper piecing technique that you can do with this die. And again, it's just utilising some of the waste as well. Stick that one down there. So they're going to be the only bits that I'm going to use from this one. So you've got another lovely die cut mirror card Merry Christmas there that you can be using on another project. I'm going to take my little bit of release paper from my double-sided adhesive sheet and just give that all a good press down. But you can see how we've paper pieced those flowers in and they look really pretty. So next up, we're going to grab back in our piece of scrap paper and we're going to use our glass slipper glitter. And what we're going to do is just go in with this glitter all over the image and just rub it into that double-sided adhesive sheet. So you want to make sure you've got it nice and pressed in there. Like this. And do the same on the other side, straight back in. Just rub that glitter into that double-sided adhesive sheet. Then we'll just tap away the excess. Put the remaining glitter back into our little tub. But then if I hold this up, you'll see how we've now created our own beautiful, super sparkly background. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you the little glittering technique as well. So we're going to glitter up a couple of the flowers. So we're going to take our Stardust Silver glitter, which is this one here. So that's like a really ultra fine silver glitter. Okay, and we're going to take our Dries Clear PVA glue. So we're going to go in and just infill the little flowers. on the die cut. Like this. And then we're going to grab our paper in and we're going to cover those little flowers just with our Stardust silver glitter. A little shimmy, tap away the excess. And then we'll do the same over here, tap away the excess. And as long as you've really pressed that glass slipper glitter into the background, that silver won't then cling. But you really need to make sure that you've pressed that base coat in. So we're going to pop that back into the jar now. And then we'll pop that to one side. We're going to grab in our base card and I'm just going to put some foam pads on here so that we can get this stuck down. So just using a few foam pads on the back again. Just to kind of build this up. And then we'll just peel the backs off of these. Going to go down onto our base card like this. Okay, and then next up we're going to take our bling box. So this one is Chloe's favourites, and we're going to start to embellish this up a little bit now. So we're going to use our Dries Clear PVA glue, and I'll just grab in some tweezers to stick the jewels on with. And just find the ones I'm looking for, those ones there. So we're going to just take these little AB jewels and just pop these onto our base card. The couple here. And you can kind of put as many or as few of the little jewels on as you like. So I'm going to use some of the smaller ones now. And we're just going to start to build up these little berries. So just pop a couple onto here. Like this. Pop one onto there. And then we're going to build these ones up here. A couple there as well. Couple more. Just start to layer this up, one there and one there. Okay, and then next up we're going to start to build this Merry Christmas in the middle. So with the Merry Christmas die, that Merry Christmas part in the centre also comes with its own little die. So what we're going to do is die cut this out and we're going to layer up that centre. Now what we want to do is make it so it's nice and kind of three-dimensional. So we're going to use some crystal white pearl card, and I would say you want to cut this out maybe 4 or 5 times. Then that's going to give you that nice three-dimensional finish. So we'll cut a couple out because I have got some that I've already kind of done. Just clean the bits of dye off my die cutting plate there. So then we're going to send this through our machine. So again, I'm just using my little junior plates on this one. wants to go through. There we go. And we'll grab those when they come out the other side. Give it a little wiggle. There we go. So I'll do a couple and I can show you how to stick them together. Just get them bits of waste paper out of my die there. And I'll flip that round. I'm going to send that through again. There we go. Lift that out. This a little wiggle. Just get that to release. Oh, I've got myself in a right knot there. Just a little look. I think I've torn my H. Let me do another one. Let me grab some scissors. I think because my plates are a little bit bent, it's not helping. So, I'll take my Christmas part, pop that on, and we'll send that through. There we go, and then we'll lift that out. Much better. I think I got myself in a bit of a knot there. There we go. So what we're going to do now is start to stick this together. So we're going to create like a 3-dimensional Merry Christmas to go across the front of here. So I've got one that I've already done and started to stick together. So you can see how when you start to stick the layers together, it gives you like this 3-dimensional effect. So what we're going to do is take our Merry, and we're going to pop a little bit of glue just onto the back, like this. Flip that over, and then we're going to pop that down. Like this. Okay, and then we're going to do the same on the Christmas. So you're going to just go in with your PVA glue. And then take your Christmas, stick that on the top, and you would just keep layering up all of these. These nicely lined up and stuck down. Okay, so once you're happy with those, and then bring your base card back in, and we're going to take this and just glue it on the top. So just going to carefully go in just with a little bit of glue under here. Give that a little hold just to stick it down, and I'll just shuffle that up so you can see it a little bit better on the camera. It's always hard when we're filming because sometimes I need things a little bit closer to me just so I can see. And then we're going to take that Christmas and just stick this one down, and we'll just hold on to that just for a few seconds, just till that glue grabs. There we go. So you can see how you've got that lovely Merry Christmas in the centre of the card. And then next up, I've got some white. This is some old silky crush ribbon. So we're going to just tie a bow. So I hang it over my index finger, wrap it round my third finger, back round my index, back round my third, like a figure of 8. You're going to take that long length and cross it at the back. Take the shorter length, tuck it all the way around. Tie that in a little knot at the back and lift that out. And then we're going to trim that away. Trim that away there. Okay, and then we'll stick this little bow in the top corner. Might just need a little bit of pin flare to stick that on, so I'll have a little look for that on my trolley. And I'm just going to put 3 little jewels in the top corner and bottom corner. I'm going to put 3 here as well because I can, because why not? So then we'll take our little jewels again from our bling box. And then we're going to stick these down onto here. In the top corner. Again, you don't have to put the bow on if you don't want to either. Actually, it might look quite nice just with the jewels. Do we bow or not bow? I'm going to leave the bow off. I'm going to just put some jewels in the corner instead, I think, actually. So then you've got 2 options. That there. And I'm going to do 3 in this corner. One. 3. There we go, and that would then be your finished project. So you've got one with the bow and one without. Let me see if I can pop those in on the camera for you so you can have a little look. There we go, so that's without the bow. And then this one, which way am I going? Am I going here? This one is with the bow. So you've got the 2 different options there as to how you would like to create this project. So that was using the Floral Merry Christmas die set along with the lovely Gilded Christmas papers as well and lots of Sparkelicious glitters. So as always, all of the materials that I've just used for that demonstration are listed in the description below. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got lots of lovely crafty tutorials on there. And if you like a bit of sparkle, you will enjoy our YouTube channel. So please do hit that subscribe button and you'll be notified every time a new video drops. If you would like to shop any of the products that we've used in today's demos, they are all available on our website, which is www.chloescreativecards.co.uk. I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you for joining me. Bye.